Okay, where did you grow up?
Oh, most of my growing up was in Wisconsin, right near the Illinois border. But from the age of 2 to 4, I was on a farm outside of Waukegan, Illinois.
They're all there.
Yes, that's it. It was straight out of Grapes of Wrath, I think, yes.
Why is that?
Well, we were extremely poor. This was the depths of the Depression. Everybody was unemployed virtually, except for, you trimmed off the 2 people who had a job. They're instantly recognizable by their dress. Yeah, my father had a new car business with, I think the car was called the Oakland. Anyway, it's one that doesn't exist anymore, and it faded then. And so he came back from that and bought a horse and a cow, and the horse died, and we were in pretty bad shape.
Tell us about your experiences in the 2-room country school that you attended.
Well, you know, it was I thought, a wonderful education, considering the limitations. Just because there were 4 grades to a room and they had to rotate classes and so on, there was a lot of free time. Much of it in the upper grades I spent in the library, or we produced plays. I remember writing one that was a shoot-'em-up Western. And everybody brought their BB guns to school, and the teacher confiscated them, and the desk was piled high with armament. Yeah, I don't know. A culture developed there that, considering that, you know, it was a very poor rural area, nobody there had ever been to college. Not even the teachers, and they'd been to normal school. So it was amazing that such things went on. Anyway, I felt that I learned a lot, very little of which was taught. You know, it was picked up. I had a terrible library. I mean, it was just whatever books people gave us, but it was worth prowling around in it.
Who was Flossie Dowse?
Flossie Dowse was my 6th grade teacher. And she was a real departure from convention. She tried new things. She horrified the parents in the area by driving very fast in her Ford V8. She gave me a lot of opportunity. I was in the 6th grade, but I had started reading real newspapers, and the social studies offerings there were pathetic. It was something called My Weekly Reader, which covered the news, but it presented it so impartially that the only impression you would carry away with you is, this issue cannot possibly matter because everything's so perfectly balanced. But then getting into a newspaper where you found out, you know, there really people feel pretty strongly about some of these things. That was a help. So she let me move into the 8th grade social studies class because that's where they dealt with current events. And you know, that would be hard to do in a regular school, but no problem at all in this 4 classes to a classroom.
This is your sister Joan, your younger sister, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joan remembers you when your farm burned down, and you found it exciting to help rescue the cattle before the fire reached them. The last animal you saved was a penned calf trying to stomp out the flames as they entered under the slats of the pen. Joan also told of the time you were a whiz kid. What happened?
Oh, that's this radio show. Another thing that teacher Flossie Dowse had, she had a lot of friends, and one of them worked for a radio station in Chicago, and she arranged to bring her 8th grade social studies class in to be on the Whiz Kids, which is a kind of quiz show on social studies and so on. And since I was doing 8th grade social studies, I got to go along. So I was the little half pint along with some bigger kids. And that was really a high point of school career. You know, Chicago was a big city. I'd never even been there before.
And what was the question about Japan?
Oh, after firing a lot of factual questions at us, the MC, whose name was Joe Kelly, said, and what do you think about Japan and our relations with them? Now, this was 1940, and I warned the nation that they should watch out for Japan, that we had never been too friendly with them. And, you know, little kid, they didn't listen. If they had, we might not have had Pearl Harbor, who knows?
That was our first lesson. In your teen years, you belonged to the Pseudo Intellectuals. Who were they?
Well, the name is very descriptive.
Of course,
certainly. We were Pseudo Intellectuals. It was completely outside the school system. It was just a group set up by some kids who were in college, and they set it up during the summer, but they let high school kids into it too. It was essentially a great books club. We read Plato, I forget what else, but you know, they were real classics, and then we would discuss them. And again, it was a fantastic intellectual experience. And then one of the members was the son of the editor of the Kenosha News. And so he would publish an article every week about the proceedings of this group. And I know one time the discussion was about religion, and my mother was just horrified that I'd said the things I'd said.
Uh-oh.
And that other people knew about it now, so that the shame would spread.
Dare we ask?
What is it? Oh, well, I had a very religious cousin, Clark Offner. If you look him up, he's still doing missionary work out of Florida and has a language learning site. But he came from the very religious side of our family, which was quite fundamentalist. And he and I had a debate. I believe it didn't get much farther than just my questioning whether you could believe everything that was in the Bible. He thought you could. But that was dangerous talk, in my mother's view, to have spread around.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Your daughter, Jean. Your daughter remembers you telling her a story that after she was born, you felt like a Jersey cow.
Hmm?
These are all the surprises of the show. Jersey cows, you explained, were so inbred that they had no idea about what to do with their calves.
Oh.
The mothers would stand over their calves, mooing in bewilderment.
She has just one thing wrong. It's the wrong breed of cow.
Oh.
It was the American Shorthorn. But otherwise, that was true. It was something to watch. I mean, this cow would drop a calf and then look around in wonderment. Well, what do I do now? And all it knew was that it should not abandon it, so just stand over it.
She says that what strikes her most about you is your incredible ability to draw analogies from other fields and to explain complex subjects in simple ways that lay people and professionals from other fields can understand.
Well, that's nice.
That is nice.
I'm glad to hear
After
that.
getting to know you for a week, I would say the same thing, that you do that, and I think that really helps people make sense out of what they don't understand. Your son, Tom. When Jean and Tom were young, they told you a joke. How do you know when there's an elephant in your bed? Your answer, there's a little E on his pajamas. You thought for a moment and then made up your own elephant joke, which you do, which we realized after the last week of spending time with you. How do you know when there's an incontinent pig in your bed? Do you know the answer?
Oh, yeah, sure. So does everybody else now, I think. That's an analogy.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. It has a little pea on its pajamas.
A little pea.